I'm back, I'm Gertie Rude. I'm back again and I'm in a mood. I'm back, Foo-Too-Foos. Happy Sunday afternoon to one and all. Here we are in my boudoir. Actually, my kitchen, to be fair, but it sounds better. So, I thought I'd give you a rest. I thought I'd give myself a rest, to be fair. Because Gertie Rude gets on everyone's nerves, and we don't need it, do we? Not every day of the week. I mean, everyone needs a rest now and again, VTubers. So this afternoon, I thought what I'd do, because I expect we've all heard the news. Dear little Pippi Schofield, Scrotumfield, whatever his name is, he got the boot, didn't he? Yes, he did, VTubers, and it was a very long train a coming. That's what I've got to say, VTubers. A very, very long train indeed. So I thought what we'd do is we'd have a little look back in time to 8 years ago, which by my numerical understanding was about 2015, Foos. This young lad here, Matt McGreevy, who we shall all expound upon. Yes, I'm going to call him, for all of our benefits, the Sorcerer's Apprentice. Yes, here we go. Here he is. Come on, young man.
Hi, I'm Matt McGreevy, and welcome to my show.
There he is.
Fast, Furious, there's no Vin Diesel, but plenty of me.
This is the young man who I do believe, that don't quote me on it, was in the acting school that was run by his brother. Whether it was the brother that was sent to jail for being a bonce or a ponce, or that word but with an N instead of a P or a B. And the other day, I think Friday. And because he got 12 years, so he'd do 6 before he's even considered for whatever it is they do. And early release, I don't know. He'd be on a wing unto himself, I would have thought. But one of his brothers, from what I can remember back in this time, even though I don't watch telly, I gave it up as a very bad habit indeed. Way back in, I don't know when, back in my past somewhere. And because it's full of shoot, isn't it, really? So he was at this stage school, which I think was run by his brother, but I don't think it's the brother that, as I've just said, that was sent to jail. Because that brother, gird yourselves for the news, VTubers, but that brother, the Ponce, with an N, worked for the police. So there you go. I think it was a civilian worker, but whatever, he was something to do with that. But he's got a brother, so whether it's that brother or another brother that ran a talent agency or an acting school or club or something or other that no one gives a stuff about. And with that in mind, Pippi Scrotum Bag, Land, whatever his name is, was hauled in because he was, after all, famous, world famous for being in the Technicolor Dream Summit or other from the 80s, and also for having his hand up a furry animals, Jack C, in a broom cupboard, and being a children's entertainer. And as we should go forward, we will see that he does have quite a lot of similarities to another children's entertainer that was around quite a lot in the 60s and 70s, VTubers. Let's just put it that way. They always start off with the kids, don't they? So from the age of 10, this young boy here, Matt, who in this I'm estimating was about 17, 18. But from the age of 10, you'd never guess what happened, VTubers. It wasn't good news. It wasn't good news at all. But Pippi Scrotum Bag was this young boy's, from the age of 10, mentor, which I'm given to believe had a whole different meaning, at least in old Scrotum's mind, because there's been a super injunction on this lad speaking out. So I thought we'd all do it for him. Here we go. And this was his moment in the sunlight, because back in 2015, it's got 2020, but that was when it was uploaded to the internet after Scrotum Bag came out as LGBTQPRS, whatever, XYZ. And a lot of them do that, but what they're doing is, it wasn't his sexuality that people were concerned about. It was some relationships stemming from this era. Let's put it like that. Because I think you'll find that in 2002, I've tried to remember, or 2003, in the Blair government, adults aren't allowed to go out with or to date or to have physical relationships with people they mentored as children. Let's just put it that way. Right, here we go.
Well, you can probably tell where I am. Just about to start on the lift.
Yes.
Right, I'm here at this morning's studios where hundreds of
Not so much as a lift. A bit more like one would say a wardrobe. Or, another word for a wardrobe, maybe a closet. He has emerged, unscathed, up to this point, from Pippi Scrotum's closet. And his closet, if you go in his wardrobe, you'd end out in Narnia, I would have thought, Vutu. Here we go.
spaces. I've come right out of this lift.
Yes.
Let's do it. Track through the light.
Because obviously, because he was mentored by this menace here, who's older than me, can you believe it? And I mean, I'm old. Yeah. He got him his job as a runner, which is a bit like a gopher, as in Gordon the Gopher, whose hand he had his up his jacksie all of the 80s, didn't he, Gordon the Gopher? So in the 90s and 2000s, well, late 90s, 2000s, he had another gopher. Let's just leave it there, VooTube.
Who knows this room all too well? It's this time. Last time we did this. It's 3 years ago. I'll try to do this.
They were seen out and about together quite a lot, and it was quite an inappropriate relationship, seeing as how he'd known him from the age of 10, mentored him. I am not inferring or scandalizing in any way what their relationship might have been, physical or metaphysical, purely spiritual, maybe cerebral. But yeah, he mentored him, and with that in mind, he got him from errand boy or gopher for the film studios, TV studios, into doing a bit of presentation. And as I said, he was a bit of a Sorcerer's Apprentice because he's young and virile and outgoing, and he's quite a happy little chappy. And I think young Pippi, or very old Pippi, felt somewhat threatened, VooTube viewers. So let's have a look at this young lad and this greasy old man. Come on.
And I'll be able to chat with him in just a few minutes.
Yes.
One thing any presenter should be able to do is deliver a script brilliantly whilst listening to their talkback. Apparently, they've only got 3 seconds to finish this link. They should also be able to read or speak flawlessly whilst on the move. One of the biggest names in television. Next year, he'll be celebrating 34
When he's very young, going forward looking, and yeah, and I definitely think there was quite a bit of the Sorcerer's Apprentice about it, where he brought him on and he saw suddenly, oh my days, he could be more popular than me. And I think it might have been a bit downhill from there, VooTube verse. And that led to the 2020 BS when he came out, apparently. Everyone knew he was out decades ago. Very awkward interview. Watch this. It's hilarious. Come on. Yeah, that's how young he is. He doesn't even know who Bananarama is. You can already tell that his sexuality, well, it's very fashionably LGBT. XYZ. You know, young lad. Bless him. Sweet little boy. There's something very haggard and old looking, isn't there, about Pippi Longstocking when he sat next to that young lad? He looks very wretched and old.
Red and yellow and green and brown, scarlet, black and ochre, peach, green, crimson and silver and rose and azure and lemon and mustard grey, purple and white, and orange and blue. Amazing. You're enjoying that a bit too much.
And you can see why the other presenters there as well probably felt a bit queasy and uneasy. I mean, on the one hand, why not? He came in as a runner and he made his way up, albeit with help from his sugar daddy, the main man of the star of the show. I'm the star, Pippi. I'm Scrotum Bag. Yes, I am. And he obviously, but they were seen out all the time together. I mean, it was common knowledge. I mean, the gossip, Matt's showbiz gossip is what it says on the bar, doesn't it? But I don't think he he ventures anywhere near the real gossip in this interview. Let's just leave it like that, YouTube. Come on. Oh, bless him. It's only young. Right.
Well, this is going to be a great interview. Although they do know you quite well.
We do. He's a bonce.
Let's see if you can get me to say something out loud that I've not said before. Has Philip Schofield ever been in a detention? Yeah, I did. I got sent out.
Oh, really boring detention story no one cares about. You should be in detention, mate. Shut up. Come on. Yes, we've all got a story like that. Just made it up.
Talking of sofas, these guys know more about sitting on Britain's comfiest sofa than a comfort specialist for all best. Is it really comfy one themselves? I know this is a hard bit right on the corner, isn't it?
I'm not being rude, but well, I am being rude. Well, I'm not being rude. I am being rude. I'm in two minds, you know, YouTube. But I do think that the adults in the room were Polly, Molly, Dolly, or whatever her bleeding name is, and these two, Eamon and Ruth. Now we've all heard that Ruth actually spoke out against Pippi Longstocking. But that was because he was just so damn rude and patronising. It wasn't necessarily over what they should have all been standing up for. I think it was like a borderline thing where they were, they knew that he'd known him as a boy and they knew that he'd brought him on as mentored him, but it's all leaves rather an unsavoury taste in one's mouth. And then he got him promoted up, and you could see this fresh, because they're all old really up against him, and he was there presenting this morning show, which is just for housewives really and lactating mothers, isn't it really? You know what I mean. No offence to all the lactating mothers. I'm a lactating mother, but yeah, not for decades, but you know what I mean. It's not really what you'd expect a young boy like that to be presenting, and he definitely give it a new vigour and vim and zest. And I would have thought all those bones were creaking and felt somewhat perturbed, and noses were put out. And one of the noses that was put out, I would have said, was dear old Pippi Scrotumbag's nose.
It's quite deep. So your eyebrow, if you lean back on it, you look like I've gone to sleep.
Yes, Ruth.
You interrupt your wife all the time. You try to. You're never looking at me. I don't have any other choices.
Yeah. Yeah. It's quite telling.
What would those items be? Well, can I have anything?
A super injunction? Get out of jail free?
You're off the island. You are. Thank you so much. I'll see you in 3 years. See you in 3 years. What will those do then? Well, if I'm still getting away with it, I'll be happy.
Yes, indeed. If he's getting away with it in 3 years' time, he'll be a happy man. News has come through today that he's got a new show. But the super injunction runs out soon, so I hope that this young lad gets his day to speak out, because just like Pippi Scrotumbag, he has every right to speak out. He should not be censored. He should be able to say his truth or whatever it is and speak fulsomely like every other citizen in this country is allowed to speak, for good or bad. And for this old man on the right, when he knew 3 years ago, I think it was during the lockdown, he knew that this young lad had enough and had enough of being joeyed around by him and was more than likely going to start speaking out. I think he broke his heart, the old boy broke the young lad's heart. And because they were closer than close, VTubers. So what he did is he, like they do, he spun the narrative off into a different direction. So instead of it being about the salient points, which is, he knew this lad from the age of 10 and had some sort of a relationship with him up until he was about 18, this young boy. Now, I'm not suggesting in any way that he had any physical relationship with him below the age of consent, because we don't know. But we'll never know, because he bunged a super injunction on the boy, so he can't speak. And because of him, he got him a job as a runner, and they were always together and went around together, and he gave him bits in the show because of him, because of Schofield getting on, the director, the producer, the editors, whoever it is that he gets on. Is it Martin Frizzell, the producer or editor of this load of crap? He used to do GMTV as well, Martin Frizzell. I think he was married to that. I can't think what her name is, the blonde bird. Anyway, from back in the day, back in Anne Diamond's periods, which was a long time ago. He should be allowed to speak, and to bung an old man, to bung a super injunction on him, and then to to stop any of it seeping out, because he was terrified it was going to seep out. He then decided to come out of the closet, equating the truth of what the situation was with him being gay, which is to presume or suppose that when you're of an LGBT persuasion, the two things go together with the word bonce, or ponce with an N, because they really don't. They really, really don't. And that is the swerve and the swift and the spin and all the other PR stunts. And I did say stunts. This twerp on the right said, to get himself out of it. And you've only got to sin together. It's so inappropriate, but never mind. So there we go, VTubers. Pippi Scrotum Bag and the ins and outs of his rather tacky and unseemly double life. Yes, and he sits on there, pontificating. So anyway, good riddance to bad rubbish, and I hope the young lad gets some justice. Bye, VTube, bye.